Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the AfterBuzz show for SNL. We're going to be talking about Sandra Oh, musical guest Tame Impala. We had a fun little cameo up top. We're going to break down every sketch, get into a little news and gossip, jump into our special segment called Anatomy of a Sketch, where we'll break down one of the sketches tonight, so stick around.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
We're back, baby.
I think my AfterBuzz dance is just bobblehead.
We need bobbleheads of us.
I agree. Excited to be back. SNL was off for a couple weeks. Back in action now. I'm Amy Maestri, guys. Excited to be breaking down this episode with the lovely Steph Sabraw.
What's up, you guys? I'm so excited. You know I love me some Sandra Oh.
I know a couple weeks ago when we were talking about this episode, we were both very excited. On a scale from 1 to 1,000,000, how much do you love Sandra Oh?
Oh, honestly, 1,000,000.
Cool.
Yeah,
Me too.
Yeah. End of discussion.
Overall thoughts on her, on the episode, the sketches.
I thought it was a good episode. I thought she was fantastic, first and foremost. I want to focus on the positive. Everything that... Excuse me, I just get... My throat gets really... emotional when I talk about her. No, I'm just kidding. I had some coffee. I thought she was fantastic. She went like balls to the wall on every sketch, and I really, really love that about her. But it was written okay.
Yeah. You know, it's always kind of a bummer when they come back from being off for a couple weeks, and you're kind of like, they should be coming with fire. They're well rested.
Yeah, there was a lot of positives. I will say
Yeah.
that. Like, I think in terms of standalone performances, Kate McKinnon was great. Adie Bryant was great. The women were great of SNL. We got some Ego finally.
Yes.
And like I said, Sandra Oh was great.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's jump into the cold open. I think we all saw this coming, that it would be something about the Mueller report. I like this setup. It got kind of slow in the pacing for me at times, but I really like that setup of, you know, what the actual report is saying, what the middleman is saying it says, and what Dum Dum Trump is interpreting it as.
Completely, because I'm too invested in politics, but I know I have a responsibility. But I was confused, and I'm sure most citizens of America and the world paying attention to this investigation that's been going on has been confused. So I love that they displayed it, because it actually gave me more clarity on the situation, the three main opinions being pressed through.
Yeah.
And it's always a joy to see Robert De Niro, even though he always messes up his cue cards.
It is absolutely insane. And it goes to show what a different animal sketch comedy is, especially just doing everything live and doing the cue cards. What a different animal. One of the best actors of all time, and he is just god awful at sketch comedy.
You would think that, and I will say he's gotten better, but you would think that he would just be like, you know what, I'm just going to memorize it. Because clearly it's not your field of expertise.
It's not. Luckily, your eyes are diverted and not looking at his eyes, but rather that nice jawline.
The jowls.
Get them jowls, the makeup department. Oh man, so cool. Yeah, cool seeing him back. Always love to see 80 as William Barr. I'm into that all day, every day. But yeah, I think the pacing was a bit slow, but I did think it was really funny. Just seeing, from step A to step B to step C and what actually filters through. And I think that's actually like a really strong point of view and narrative on just everything right now too. Of like, you have what's happening and then you have what's being given to the public and what's being portrayed to the public. So I thought it was really fun. Mm-hmm. All right, let's just talk about the monologue for the rest of the show, because our girl and our other girl, Leslie, pops in there too. Also, let's call attention to the fact, third Asian American woman to host.
Yes, queen! Yes, queen!
Yes.
We needed that moment for this.
We did.
Soak in this moment, everybody. This is a win for us all, especially us Asian Americans. All right, continue.
And as she likes to put, that she actually is a Asian Canadian American.
Yeah, but it's her year citizenship of being an American. So just like we claim Drake and no longer Justin Bieber, still claiming Drake, we're claiming Sandra Oh, sorry Canada. And I know sorry is your favorite word, so.
Oh, double burn.
Burn!
Burn!
You already have a hot president. That's enough.
Yeah, well, don't we?
Oh my god! My stomach literally almost just reflexed out of my vagina.
I think mine actually did from saying it.
It took everything out of you to let comedy rule in that situation.
I'm in physical pain right now from that. So sorry, everyone.
Oh, no.
Let's keep talking about Sandra Oh, because that hurts me. I don't think they wrote the best jokes for her. There's a lot of like lazy Canadian jokes, but she brings such a good energy and she's so fun with it that I was just like, I don't even care that it's not the best written monologue.
Yeah, okay, let's just run through what went right. Sandra Oh, in general, coming off hot, such a win. Her outfit, damn, such a win. Like the power suit, the white leather boots, I need that right now. And her hair is just fantastic.
All day Natasha Lyonne Russian doll haircut, but not fiery red. I was straight up like, oh my God. She's like the Asian American doppelganger of Natasha Lyonne.
Such a good call. Wow, such a good hairstyle. And she killed the jokes that were written for, like, she did what she had to do with what she was given, and it was still like super charismatic, really fun, filled with energy, and still funny. Like she has really good tempo.
Yeah.
We were joking because we saw an article from Vulture that, let me quote it, Sandra Oh may not be primarily known for comedy, but she's undoubtedly a comic. Okay, Amy, just can you explain what's problematic about it?
It's a dumb sentence.
It's a dumb sentence. She is funny and she hits funny notes when she's not a comedian, but she did so well for not being a comedian.
Exactly. Like, I see what they're saying, and what I was saying before is she's very comedically gifted. Mm-hmm. She's a comedically gifted actress. Yeah. And she showed it the entire episode. Super versatile in this, too.
Really?
I'm always intrigued to see the writing room and the pitches to hosts that are like this, that are just like kind of walk in and are like, give me anything you want. I will do anything and everything you want me to do.
Yeah, her and Halsey were kind of like that for me, where I feel like obviously it's easier for Sandra Oh because she does provide a lot of comedic relief in anything she does. Yeah. But she really killed it. There was some jokes that I loved, especially about being a Canadian saying sorry always, and then being Asian and we deflect, and that's so true. Like, all my family members would always, like, you cannot compliment them. Doesn't work.
Not in this house.
But I find she probably gets so many compliments. Like, she has to adjust.
I think she's probably gotten better at it over the years. Speaking of compliments, this Discover Card sketch / parody of the movie Us. Ego. Girl, finally.
Yes.
Finally. And she was so strong in this.
So good. I was worried that it was going to be just her coming in for 3 seconds, and then I was like, oh, it's Us. Like, she probably wrote it, and it's going to be a longer sketch. I thought I need to see Us. I'm really disappointed in myself that I haven't seen it. But from what I've heard about it, this is such a funny take on it. Yeah,
and what a great pairing for this, like, really dark and creepy movie to be paired up with the Discover Card ads, which are just kind of creepy in a not intentional way. And her delivery on everything, so strong. I loved seeing her in this. I do have a feeling that she may, I do. I don't know if you guys know in the chat, let us know if you know who wrote this, because I do have a feeling she may have had a hand in this. But I loved it from beginning to end, and then the button of it happening to Keenan too, when he takes over the phone, and then having it end up of just being like, brought to you by Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I loved it. I wish it was a little longer, honestly, too.
Yeah, I mean, it actually could have, which is funny that so often we're like, oh my gosh, when is the sketch going to end? Because they drag them out a lot of times when they shouldn't. But yeah, I definitely could have dealt with a little bit more of that. I think we're just so like hungry for more seeing Eggo. So
Give me my Eggos.
give me my Eggo. I wonder how much she hates that.
Listen.
We're gonna still do it anyways.
But such a good job. Such good makeup, too.
Yeah.
SNL's makeup and costume is so amazing.
It's insane. It's insane. They step it up every single year. Okay, so this Jussie Smollett sketch. I still say that from the last episode when he came on to do the Shark Tank thing and he was just like, I broke humanity, was still, I think, my favorite thing I've ever heard comedically about the Jussie Smollett case.
Yeah.
But what did you think? What did you think about the sketch?
It's so hard because they actually did a good job. Because there's a lot of theories going around of how this played out. Because I do know like a fair amount about the way legal proceedings play out and investigations and things like this. And this is very odd.
Yeah.
Everything about this case since the beginning has been really, really odd. So when I saw them taking a stab at it after the newest news that he's been dropped of all 18 counts, I believe it was, and he was just meant to pay whatever it was, his bail amount. I was kind of worried. Like, what are they going to take? What are they going to say? Because we really don't know. Because they sealed the case for some BS reason.
That's the thing. Every turn is just so weird. In it.
Like, it's so corrupt to me on all ends. And I just don't. I feel like everyone's in the wrong and I don't know. But I will say, I think they did a good job of kind of being like, we don't really know where we stand either, but we still want to make a joke out of it.
That's so true. Because they're not taking a point of being like, no, it was for sure like him lying about it. It was for sure the cops
government
setting him up. It was Trump. It was no, like it was a very neutral stance, but still with the point of view, which can be tricky sometimes. So yeah, I think that was great, and I think Chris's delivery of just whenever he was just like, "What's this? It's a bag of clues."
The bag of clues was hilarious.
Pulling out the KKK and. Oh my gosh, I really just, I think his delivery brought so much to it too. And I will say this sketch worried me as the first, proper live sketch of the night, that Sandra Oh was not utilized in this. And I was like, it's kind of a bummer for, like a opening sketch. I was like, I wanted to see her used a little bit more.
More than she, yeah.
Yeah, and so I was kind of worried, but then they gave her so much throughout the episode, so it was great. Speaking of which, jumping into the next one, which was one of the digital shorts of The Duel. Speaking of having more to do, getting shot 5 million times. I thought this was interesting because it kind of took on that narrative of, her being the woman who was like, oh, no, I'm fine. It's the men. You guys are struggling right now with this.
Like your small egos can barely handle a single hit, but we can get shot 15 times and be like, sorry, it's my fault.
that Canadian in her, the Canadian and women.
I thought it was going to be a play on The Favorite when it first started.
Yeah.
Which would have been funnier, I think, because it was enjoyable. There wasn't any part where I was like snoozing through it, which does happen from time to time, but I never laughed out loud.
Right, yeah.
I was like,
yeah. It almost felt like one of those sketches that, like, when they do live sketches and there's like blood or something, and it just ends up getting like chaotic and there's just mayhem by the end, and the sketch falls apart, but it still ends up being funny because they know it's falling apart. I almost felt like that kind of had, like, if that was a live sketch, that's kind of what it would have turned into. But yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I thought it was funny. It had its moments. Keenan still can't do an accent, so that's cool. Anyways, next, we're going to skip over Tishy, because we're going to talk about that for the anatomy of the sketch at the end of the show tonight, because we want to talk about that.
I love your special segment.
Well, thank you.
Sometimes more than SNL.
Well, thanks. I love your face. Anyways, so let's talk about Tame Impala really quick. Have you listened to their music before? Or?
No, but I actually really liked their entire set, and I thought they had really enjoyable music. It was funny because my boyfriend, who doesn't listen to this type of music at all, was in the other room, and he was like, what were you just listening to? I like that. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, it was good.
Converting fans everywhere. Yeah, I was just kind of like chilling out. Sometimes during the musical guests, I'll just kind of like space out if it's someone that I'm not familiar with. But I kept getting kind of drawn back in by them. I dug both of them.
Yeah.
Let's go into Weekend Update before we get into the two guests. Did you have any standout jokes?
I thought both of them were really on fire, but I thought Michael Che. Okay, Colin Jost got harder laughs in the audience, but Michael Che's like deadpan when he knew he made like a super effed up joke is such a nice touch that I hope he continues, because he's not like the mass audience of SNL. I think the demographic, I'm gonna assume, is white people. So Michael Che will hit these jokes where it's like they get offended about animal jokes, but not about like black people being killed type things. So I love when he's just like,
His little looks around the crowd.
Yeah.
He's a stand-up through and through.
Yeah.
That's a comic, Vulture. No, I think it was great. They're and once again, the clips of Trump at rallies don't even need to write that much. Just show the clips.
yeah.
It's all nonsense that you laugh at because it's crazy, and then you get really sad inside and terrified.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I think a lot of their political stuff was really on point with this. Leaning into the political side of it, having Cecily come on to do her Jeanine Pirro impression, which is one of my favorites because that woman has the most insane asinine voice I've ever heard in my life.
100%.
It's so hard to listen to, but it's so much better when Cecily's doing it.
Cecily killed. Like the boys couldn't even keep it in. Like,
Oh my
she
gosh.
was killing it. Colin
Just giggling when she kept throwing herself out of the chair, which props to Cecily. Awesome commitment on that. I loved the stuff that they wrote for her too. The escalation about like what was in the report of it starting with like he's 170 pounds and then ending with like how he's a sex machine and just going completely off the rails. Getting rid of Jussie Smollett and bringing back Roseanne. Her and William Barr are gonna have a show called The Bars where it's just them on a disgusting couch. Like such good specifics, such a great impression. Adding in physical comedy into it, like I absolutely loved this.
so good.
And then we got 80 as the NASA, poor and McLean. So NASA only has one spacesuit for women, and so what was supposed to be a historic two woman spacewalk for the first time ended up still being a one woman, one man. Nick, hi, I'm Nick, because they don't have the right size spacesuit for two women.
I literally can't believe it. Like, you would think this is a sketch, like a full-on sketch.
Yeah.
And it's news. It's
Like-
nuts, but they killed it.
Like some of the smartest people on the planet didn't plan ahead for having two female astronauts.
That's some conspiracy BS.
Yikes.
And it's Women's History Month, so really, way to give it to us. I know we've just been talking way too damn much, haven't we? We need to go back to the kitchen because clearly we can't even get sizes for us after we've made all of these historic moments.
Well, yes, Steph. Actually, yep. Sorry, guys. We got to call the show. We're gonna go make a sandwich in the kitchen.
They're about to cut our mics.
Props to Brie.
Oh no, our own woman producer cuts our mics.
How dare you?
It's not even April Fool's Day yet. God damn it.
Getting us early. God, we can't catch a break. Oh man, well I do think 80 was the perfect combo for this too, just to make it very endearing but also funny and also kind of sad at the same time. But I enjoyed her. Let's jump through a couple of these pretty quickly here.
Yep.
So the Louise birthday sketch. Kate as an 85-year-old woman. Again, props to the makeup department. Curse. That's gonna be the rest of the show, guys. That's just going back and forth.
I literally was like, I had to get it out of me in the car. Like, I had to say it 15 times because I was worried I was just going to troll the show.
What a great little creep Kate McKinnon is.
She's so creepy.
I love her so much. The specifics of what she was saying and all of it. I love that at the end of the day, it was just a sketch about this creepy old lady wanting to see people kiss.
Nothing more,
That's
nothing less.
literally all it is. And it was so perfect.
So good.
And it's all Kate. It's all Kate. What a strange sketch. What a strange, amazing human. And everyone around her played off of her really nicely too. And I like the addition of Beck just to be there, like, yeah, maybe we should try it. Like being the one who's kind of like egging it on. I think all around it was really strong though.
Yeah. And I just have to take a moment to give respect to Kate, because not only did she kill this, but her as Rudy Giuliani, I forgot to talk about that.
Right, yeah.
She is so funny. I forget what the specifics were, but when she was saying about like how she would be buried or something like that, like the last line of the intro, the cold open.
Oh yeah, that they give her such good line. It's similar to Jeff Sessions.
Yes.
Like the weird like possum references that they came up with him and how he lives in a clock and things like that. They're doing the same thing with Giuliani, because the one that I wrote down was the family of goblins that live in my head and hold my eyes open. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I completely forgot about it. And I don't know how I could have, because I literally jumped when she popped up into screen. It was terrifying.
So good.
Oh, man. So I loved this next digital short. It was a strange show all around. I really like this idea, a lot of random sketches, which I enjoy, of making checks like mischievous. Like
Oh my
writing a
gosh,
check. Like it's such a
yeah.
simple thought and such a simple premise, and it was executed so well, because it is like there's something very dramatic and very mischievous about it, whereas just the quick Venmo.
Well, and also Venmo, it's like tracked now. And I didn't think about it. Like you could just like kind of make up the way, I don't know. I guess you could make up the way it is on what you're giving it for on Venmo, but it just seems so like sexy, but like wrong to write a check now, like very Cruella de Vil.
Yes, exactly.
I just love this, and I loved the dress of this episode of this sketch, like the way the women looked, the way they like had these different. It was very like Real Housewives-esque, but also like retro. It was so good,
like old school retro housewives in like a film noir. Writing checks.
I want to be in this sketch.
I think and they kind of kept it fresh too at a couple of different moments, and I loved when she was just like talking about how easy it is to write a check, and then you do this here, and then this here, and then you do this again, but with letters, and then the secret for the memo. I was like, I'd love to see the writing process of this. I think it involved a lot of marijuana. I love it.
We can only hope.
The roots of rock. So a guy keeps singing when he's not supposed to be singing.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Kyle Mooney's last line was really funny. I love Kyle Mooney. It started funny, and then I was like, oh, but I also think it was a play on Keenan's. I don't know. I was thinking about it really deeply because I didn't understand, but I think it was like he kept doing this and Keenan keeps doing this.
Yeah.
So maybe both are funny, but maybe both aren't.
What a cruel joke. What a cruel world we live in.
Roller Coaster Rider in the chat, what's up? Always glad to have you. Was commenting in the beginning. Did Amy love the Keenan sketch? Just kidding, or something like that.
You know I did Roller Coaster Rider. Yeah, it was just, it never went anywhere. It never did anything. At first I thought it was going to be funnier, like some sort of interaction with Leslie trying to get in on it, because like she's like the story of like this woman who's supposed to be getting on stage. Like I thought there was going to be something there. And then nope, Keenan just kept coming back and coming back and coming back, just like he has for the 7,000 seasons that he's been on. Can't wait to pop some bottles at the end of this season, hopefully. Say goodbye to him.
We don't know.
Last sketch of the night before we circle back to the anatomy of the sketch. The SAT class, with Sandra Oh being the teacher. Kate and 80, I'll take any excuse to see them side by side working together.
Yeah.
If they want to make Kate a little high school boy, let's do it. Let's do it, because I want to see them.
It is true. It was funny. It had a funny ending.
Yeah.
I liked that. It was a meh sketch for me, though.
Yeah, I think it was a very much a end of night sketch.
Yeah.
You know, like here's something kind of funny and weird, and like the monologues I thought were funny. And Sandra Oh getting in on the end as the teacher, I thought that was good. But
And I think this sketch was cut for time in on air. I watched on Hulu.
oh, okay, I watched on Hulu too.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it was.
All right.
But yeah, it was a funny context because I really do think that's how a lot of kids are now in high school. Like they're like such deep thinkers about everything, which is great in some senses, but some it's like, no, that's literally not what I was asking you, but thanks.
Like, calm down. The answer was C. All right. Well, we're running short on time, so let's jump into the anatomy of a sketch.
Yes.
Ayo. Shout out to Bree. So we're going to talk about the Tishy sketch. Sandra Oh, for me, this was hands down her best performance of the night. I love sketches like this because it's where premise and character meet in the middle of the road. So you get to see this premise that's very simple of nerdy teenage kid, looks in the mirror, sees reflections of himself in the future, doesn't really like what he sees. And then you have the entrance of this character of Tishy, who is absolutely incredible. They did a great job of separating it by beats, which is really easy to do in a sketch like this because you have all the different moments of the different reflections coming back at you. But I like that they kept it fresh by adding in the popular dude in high school who also comes back and is like, I work for you now. So I think all of the beats were presented in a really fun way. But the like little things that they gave her, like that she drinks Four Loko, that she like 20 years later still is wearing the cast. She still has her arm broken. Every little detail that they used in there was just leading up to so many good things. The only thing I'll say, I don't know if I love that they gave her an excuse at the end of her being a billionaire. I think it would have been more fun for me to just not see a reason for this. I just want Tishy to just be Tishy. I don't need to know that she's a billionaire and that's why he married her. I was like, oh, I almost didn't want that reason. I just want her to be very mysterious.
Like you just ended up.
Yeah. But I do really, really appreciate everything that they did in this sketch. And my God, Sandra Oh, those dance moves for Tishy, everything that she did. I want to see a show about Tishy.
Amazing.
I just want to keep saying Tishy. Tishy and kiss. Kiss. No. Are you guys sad we didn't do that all episode? So before we wrap stuff up, did you have any other thoughts on Tishy?
No, I love Tishy.
All
I do
good.
love Tishy. I just have a quick news and gossip for you guys.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, obviously Sandra Oh is here because she's goddess, A, but B, to promote Killing Eve, which season 2 comes out. Episode 1 will air April 7th, and I believe you can watch that on Hulu. And then also, side note, we've talked about this a little bit, but A.D. Bryant's show Shrill is available on Hulu as well, and you guys should definitely watch that. 2 amazing shows, very different shows, but equally amazing, so go support our women.
Hell yes. Very well said. Very agreed.
Very, very agreed.
Very, very agreed. I agree muchly. Steph, where can we find you on social media?
You guys, I can't wait for next episode, but until then, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Steph Sabraw.
Very excited for next week as well. My name's Amy Maestri. You can find me at Amy Maestri. Tune in next week. We'll be breaking down the episode again, and we'll probably keep saying
Kish.
bye, guys.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.